Ladies and gentlemen, it is the BadCatz Sports Podcast. I am the Hurricane Mike Herren, host, producer of this fabulous podcast. To the left of me is the Birdman, rocking his L.A. Dodgers gear. I would assume, knowing his neighborhood connections and his relationships with Kevin Spadella, that must be from Brandon Gomes. I would imagine.
You're correct on that assessment, Mike.
For free? You got a freebie there?
He sent me this. He has sent me
Nice.
a Dodger a warm-up shirt. Yeah, straight from
I
Brandon.
saw you had a hat too.
Yeah.
It wasn't a Dodger hat.
No,
though.
no hat? No hat?
Yeah.
No.
So that's like official real day. New Balance is sponsoring Dodgers. Go figure.
No, this is one of Brandon's.
New Balance is a New England-based company too. That's big time.
Yep.
And then of course we have the undefeated, undisputed, under 21 heavyweight champion of all sports podcasts in New England. We got my man Rowdy, Riley Arruda.
What's up?
What's up, man?
Living the life, living the dream.
Living a dream, that's right. What a weekend, folks. Comic-Con was a shit show, but an enjoyable,
I loved it.
mass of fucked up people, crazy nonsense. We tried to dig a few diamonds out of the rough. And we were able to do that, but it was just an experience unlike any other. It was definitely good for morale for us. It was definitely a great barometer as to the potential for us to go remote, and it also was a great barometer to see how we could handle operating off the fly. And I thought we did.
That was killer.
Absolutely.
I thought we did an amazing job at that. But the ability to pull that off, to pull lights, shoulder harness, tripod, 2 wireless microphones, okay, to jump around from location to location, from shot to shot, to start again, close again, wrap up, get ready, shoot again. A very, very difficult thing to do.
Yep.
And aside from the first interview, when I did that whack job from Voltron,
I wish they would have saw that.
oh my God.
Was he a Klingon?
Yeah,
guy?
the Klingon. He was
guy.
so Birdie, that was the only interview that we didn't get because that interview the mic wasn't on for some reason. Rob didn't understand why, but no big deal because I was the only one. But that guy was
But Rob is convinced he's going to enhance the sound on that.
okay, and that's fine because that interview was gold. That interview was pure gold, and I hope that people get to see that one.
Yeah.
That one was great.
I liked R2D2 too.
That was my favorite one. By far, my favorite one, not even close. That was so good. Were you there for that one?
No, that was Saturday.
So somebody had a remote control R2D2. You can control with your hand, and the thing was massive, like life-size massive. And every time, like Mike,
big money.
Oh yeah,
big
easy,
money.
thousands of dollars.
Tens
So
of thousands.
so whenever Mike had the mic, he would go like this, and then he'd put the mic to R2D2. Every time he did that, the person would click the button, and he would talk. And Mike was just saying like, "Oh yeah, I know we're the best podcast around." Yeah, it was so awesome. That was the best one by far.
I said, "You're still making money, huh, R2?" Yep, beep, 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 beep. Yep, beep, 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 beep. I said, "What a life for you, huh, man? You've been everywhere."
That's got to be like from
10 movies.
30 years ago, too, probably.
Is R2D2 a constant in the Star Trek movies of today?
Yeah, he's one of the bigger characters. Everybody knows who he is. Come on, right? You just see him, you're like, oh, it's R2. Like he's in all the movies pretty much. Yeah.
Now let me ask you another question, right? Are you a Trekkie?
I never really was big into Star Trek, Star Wars. None of that was really my stuff, to be honest. Like I watched them, but like I'm not huge into it. I like wrestling more. I like Marvel more.
Yeah.
I like all the other stuff more. But I can understand it. So Star Wars, I understand. Star Trek, I know Birdie said he watched some of it growing up.
I used to watch I'm not a Trekkie, but I used to watch a lot of the episodes. Yeah. So I do have some knowledge of some of it and the movies also. So
if I had to pick one, I'd pick Star Wars over Star Trek. But I understand them both. They're both really cool to me.
And it's amazing that they both have cult followings like they do.
Oh yeah, massive.
Because let's face it, aside from the wrestlers,
one guy
had a serious line.
Yep.
you know.
Captain Kirk,
for sure. Like, how much money could a Tara Reid make in a weekend like that?
A good amount. Like, you seen how much they were charging for the signatures and pictures? Like, some people was like
$60.
Yeah, $60 for the combo. Some people were 70. Some people were 80 for the combo. Like 50 for the combo. Like, if you just wanted a picture, it'd be like $40 for them. You know what I mean? So if someone's like, oh, I don't have anything to get signed, let me just get a picture. Or some people are like, okay, the picture's 40, might as well just buy a signed picture for another 20.
So how much does she make? How much does she make to fly cross country?
Let's see.
Sit on her ass.
Give me a number and I'll do the math. How many people you think went up to her and bought a combination?
I saw one and we were around for about 45 minutes.
So all right, I'm gonna go with. I'll give a number like 25.
Is
you think that's fair?
Compensating them for being there though? Are they getting something from them?
I don't know. It was a weird dynamic because each row had these crazy people that were in charge of them.
Yeah.
And I don't understand what their role was. Were they their booking agents?
So
I mean, I've dealt with Hollywood booking agents in the past, and they don't look like that, and they don't act like, and they don't behave like, and they don't act like that.
So the people in the blue shirts, they were all volunteers. My friend was a volunteer. So if you volunteer, you get assigned to a booth, and your job is to basically collect the money, kind of. But some of them brought their own agents as well. So the people,
but some of them bought, like when we were dealing with those wrestlers, they had bought like four tables there.
Yeah,
and they put the wrestlers in there.
Yeah,
that they want to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some of them are brought their own agents, or their agents brought it to them. The ones in the blue shirts were all just volunteers that were collecting money. Like, okay, this is what I'm told to say.
I think that there are agents that work for Comic-Con that say, okay, I want 4 tables, and I'm going to put wrestlers in these 4 tables.
Those wrestlers were grouped together. Yeah,
well,
they were grouped together.
I'm gonna put these 4 wrestlers in this 4 tables. You had some real creepy looking dudes. No, I mean, I'm going to say she had to get, let's say she gets 100 autographs a day.
Well, I did the math for 25. Say 25 people went up to her and got the combo. That's $1,500.
Okay.
25 people got that combo. If you wanted to do, how much did you want to say?
I'm going to say at least 100 people.
So
$40 a pop, that's 4
Let's say 100 people, $4 grand, right?
$4 grand, $100.
All right, so let's say she makes $8 grand, right? For the weekend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
All right. Travel is what? Couple grand?
Is she coming by herself?
Couple grand there.
Well, she came with her dogs and she came with her
boyfriend.
No, that agent that was with her that was very effeminate.
Where do you think she lives? I'll look up a flight.
No, she was in it's a flight's about $1,000. But after those creepy agents get a cut, I mean, what is she really making?
Yeah, it's hard to say.
What?
It's hard to say. Based on $8 grand, you're cutting up $8 grand, right? So you're talking.
Well, you say you're cutting up 10 grand.
10 grand. I mean, after she pays them off, what percentage of that goes back to ComCon? I mean, I don't know, Mike.
No. What percentage goes to their agents because their agents pay for the space.
Yep.
Right. Yep. But it's not even their agents. It's like their agents are loaning them out to these sleazeballs that do all these conventions. I mean, let's face it. That's the bottom rung of celebrity. You would agree with that, right?
Oh yeah. It seems like they're on the tail end of their careers.
They're on the tail end.
Yeah.
I mean, you figure, but then you got a guy like Rowdy wanted to see, who probably made 50 grand.
Yeah, I would say a lot. But he's like in the height of his popularity right now. Yeah. Like it's not even close. And if you were Birdie on Saturday, right? So I was in his line. He didn't get there till 1. I got in his line at 12:30 before he even got there, right?
Yeah.
And then I didn't get to see him until 2:00.
Really?
That's how long his line took. His VIP line was out the door around the corner, and there was still people in the general admission line. It was crazy. Like, and that's like if every person there, right? Let's say he saw, I don't know, 300 people. It was $60 for the $60 for the
combo.
For the combo for him, and I got the combo and I got a signature. So I gave him 100. Yep. So I got 2 signatures and a picture for 100, and that was just one person by me. How many more people are going to be doing that? You know what I mean? So I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. 300 by 60. That's like what? 18,000 right there.
Yeah.
18
no,
G's.
I would say a guy like that could make 50 grand there.
He could. I think so. Yeah.
But Rampage Jackson ain't making 50 grand.
No.
Jerry Lawler ain't making 50 grand.
You just got to know who.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? Jerry Lawler, who's an icon, has had, other than Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan, the top 10 wrestling careers out of anybody in a shelf life.
He has the most championships ever.
As long as anybody, Jerry the King Lawler, right?
Yeah.
And there was nobody in line for him.
I don't know. Maybe it's because he wasn't really from this area. He was more towards the Midwest. And
but that was 25 years ago, Birdie.
Yeah, no, I understand.
He's been a staple for
Look at this number. This is how many championships he's won.
Oh, Jerry Lawler?
Yeah, 168 championships he's won. That's the most in history, I believe, and that's ridiculous.
Well, that's what happens when you're a promoter of mixed-up wrestling. You can do yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I know, but that's still crazy.
Yeah, it is. But, and nobody's with him. And then, Rampage Jackson, this guy is an icon.
There was nobody there either.
And there's nobody there for him.
No, I know.
It's like the people that we saw, right, just walking around like us, but dressed up crazy, like in anime stuff. They have no idea who Rampage Jackson is.
Crazy, yeah.
They have no idea who Jerry Lawler is. Those people are niche, you know what I mean? But they're not to the masses of America. They're not niche. The niche people are the animes. But in that convention, the anime people are the popular ones.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and Adam Cole, he's very popular because a lot of those people like wrestling as well. Like, oh, he's one of the bigger people. But Jerry Lawler's from I know who he is. I love wrestling, but he's so niche to anime fans and to horror fans because they don't really know those wrestlers. That's why
he's not in his demographic for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I want to find? I want to find the sports-based Comic-Con.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That'd be awesome.
I want to find something that very similar to Comic-Con where you have athletes or
retired
umpires or old announcers or old managers. I think that would be fascinating.
Yeah, that's a good
But
idea.
I'll tell you what, anime certainly took. There were more anime people there than Star Trek or Star Wars, I would say, without question, right?
Yeah. From what the day I was there,
Yeah. And there's Japanese cartoons that are action based, right? I was told
most of them are action based. Like they can't be just normal. They're all cartoons. Anime is Japanese cartoons, but they're mainly action based, story based, stuff like that. And you read the subtitles along because they speak in Japanese, and then you read it along. I don't really like to read it in Japanese, so I try to watch the English one. But I'm in the huge minority. Most people don't like the English versions because it doesn't read up well with the lips, and they like to read it. I just don't like to read it.
I should father and mother about old Bruce Lee movies and kung fu movies. They'd be like, "I'm going to kill you."
Yeah, they dab in the
how bad was it? I mean, it was like a running joke.
I've seen it.
You're gonna get karate chop,
and they're still talking. Yeah.
That's awesome. There's what was the movie called that they made fun of it, and it was just I forgot what it was. God, I'm gonna have to look it up, but it was some movie.
Godzilla movies still.
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, I love those.
But Comic-Con is. And it's funny because the Japanese culture and the Asian culture, they embrace Godzilla and Hercules and all these mythical monsters and characters. It's crazy.
So there's a sneaker con happening November 13th.
Really?
Yeah, in about
Where is that
days. Boston, Mass. Haynes Convention Center.
Saturday Convention Center. That's a big place.
South Boston.
Saturday, November 13th from 12 to 7.
And who's going to be there?
I don't know. I have no. This is the first time I heard about it because I just looked up cons near me and then this just popped up. I'm guessing it's just, I don't know, probably just all sneakers. I'm gonna have to look more into it. I'll try to find more stuff. But that's the first one that I saw. And then that super mega fest, the one that we saw on the table, that one's happening around soon, where it's a bunch of old superheroes and one or two wrestlers, stuff like that. That one's happening.
Couple of athletes. Denny McLean. I thought he was dead.
You know what? I thought he was dead too.
Yeah, they had him on the thing. I don't know if there's another Denny McLean, but I would love to interview him.
1968 Detroit Tigers. Yeah.
Last 30-game winner, right? Or
you might be right. You know what? You might be right. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. There's not too many guys even back in that day that won 30 games.
And then he went to federal prison multiple times. So
gambling issue, I believe.
There's a 90s con. So it's like all based on the 90s happening in Hartford, Connecticut on March 11th. So I don't know what that includes, but probably some 90s celebrities that are on like Saved by the Bell, Full House, stuff like that.
Sure,
you know what
I mean?
Yeah. So I have to look more into all of these, but this is what's coming up. The first one is
we got to find out.
The New England Cannabis Convention. That's one as well.
What is that? Who's going to be there?
I literally just looked it up. Like, look, Anime Boston 2022. That is straight all anime. Like, only anime people.
I'm all set.
I might go to that one because my cousin goes to that one all the time.
Which one?
The anime one.
Which cousin?
My cousin AJ. He goes a lot, so I might go with him. And I'm gonna have to dress up because I don't think I dressed up this year just because I was with you guys. I didn't really want to dress up and interview, but I might dress up for that one.
Yeah. Riley was like half fan, half reporter.
Yes, I was.
He's like half fan, half reporter, but it all worked out, certainly. I'll tell you what didn't work out, man. I'm going to tell you what didn't work out was Black Sunday for NFL gamblers.
Worked for me, baby.
Thank God I was wrapped up. I mean, I took a beating last night when we made that foolish bet on the Rams.
Oh, God.
What was the bet?
Birdie's like convinced that the Rams are going to win this game. I'm looking at him like, Birdie, I don't see anything that I like about him.
Stafford thought he was playing for the Titans last night, so that's pretty much what happened in that game. I guess he forgot where the paychecks were coming from.
But more dangerous than that, than a poor performance was, the book might be out on Stafford now. And I got a segment called The Book that we're going to talk about. All right, and we'll get to that in a little bit, but... Black Sunday for gamblers.
And not for the bookies.
Jacksonville, plus 700 winner.
Money line.
Broncos, plus 500. Plus 500 winner.
Outright, yep.
Raiders, division leading Raiders. Bengals, Cowboys, Bills, and Rams all go down. The Saints, coming off a big win over Tom Brady, go down. And it's very difficult to make sense of it all.
It was yesterday.
I'm starting to think that the NFL is impossible to handicap.
And I would agree with that statement.
You know?
Based on some of these weeks we've seen.
If there's one thing I would say about the NFL is bet the trend.
Well, if you stick with it, you might have a little bit of success more than just trying to pick.
Tennessee's trending. New England's trending. Pittsburgh is trending.
The only thing about the trends that you can't factor in is the injuries. And with Derrick Henry going down yesterday, nobody saw that coming. So,
but you had one team that didn't get penalties. That was in tune with their coordinators.
Yep.
That looked like fluid motion.
Yep.
And you had another team with all these superstars that have been blowing everybody out, and they couldn't handle a basic blitz concept. It was crazy to me.
No.
I'm starting to think that young coach from Los Angeles is over his head.
He had a bad game last night. And
I'm starting to think that. I mean, did they make any adjustments? Why not go tempo?
Yeah, we were talking about that last night.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but we're going to get into all of that, but just a very, very difficult day because the way the gambling dynamic works is very few people are picking these favorites straight out. They're teasing it.
Absolutely.
With 2 or 3 other teams. They're parlaying it.
Absolutely.
They're putting it in bird cages and round robins.
That's right.
And they're putting it everywhere.
Yeah.
So one of those favorites lose.
Everything goes
It's a tease buster.
It's a house of, you know how you stack cards, a house of cards, and then when you pull a card house, the whole thing goes down.
You
know exactly what I'm saying. And not only was it usually one team that happens with, one favorite. It was all of them yesterday. So that's why it's like, you play those, you can make money on them.
Even the Bengals that you didn't say was a huge one too, because you said betting the trends. I
said the Bengals.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah.
But the trends were like this. Like the Bengals were going up and the Browns were going down. Then it just switched automatically. And the Bengals are now 5-4. Like they were just the number one team in the AFC a couple weeks ago, destroying the Ravens. And now they're 5-4,
2 weeks later.
not even leading their division anymore. And not even, I don't think they're in the wild card right now. Like it's just crazy how like up and down the NFL is. You know what I mean? It's there's only a few teams that are going to stay steady through the whole year, I think.
And you know,
I haven't seen one yet.
And you know something, and go figure this, right? Go figure this out. The team that everybody said had the best day last night didn't even play. It was Tampa Bay.
Well, yeah, they were the only winner yesterday. That's correct.
They were the only winner yesterday.
Everything fell their way. The teams that lost going in the NFC that they're going to have.
Now LA has 2 losses. And the Saints caught a division loss. The Saints were trying to creep up on them. Like, how do the Saints go from playing their asses off against Tampa Bay to having an average NFL team come in there and beat them at home?
It's like part of it's got to be coaching, because you're looking at some of these teams and they're showing up at these games and it's like they're not even ready to play. Look at Dallas yesterday. I mean, you seriously.
Yeah.
The Rams last night, I mean, they're just like they show up like they're not even into the game for the whole game. I mean, and that's coaching. I mean, is it the NFL? Is it the money involved in this, Mike? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
Maybe sometimes you're better off being on the road. More of a focus, right?
Less distractions, maybe.
Because
at home, or...
The Jags were at home, though.
If you're on the road, right, you're in the bubble. You're with your teammates on the planes.
Yep.
Your wife ain't driving you crazy. Your baby mamas ain't driving you crazy. Your kids ain't driving you crazy. Your homeboys ain't driving you crazy. Your girlfriends and your mistresses ain't driving you crazy. Your neighbors and your friends ain't driving you crazy for tickets. You're in the bubble. Your locker room to plane to hotel, and there is a focus. Now, if you're home, you gotta go home to your wife, and she might be pissing and moaning at you, right? Because she found a different color hair strand on a certain sweater of yours, right? Or maybe she looked through your phone and it was somebody else that you talked to, maybe you shouldn't be talking to. Your kids don't give a fuck. They're driving you nuts for money, to a ride here, a dance here. Get in trouble in school, whatever that may be.
You got a list of ticket requests.
You got a list of ticket requests. Everybody's your best friend.
Yeah.
And
so
it looked like the Dallas Cowboys were busy telling everybody how good they were that week.
Well, their defense, as I tried to explain on a couple of occasions, I still thought the jury was out on that. I was very surprised their offense did not play well yesterday, but their defense, I always thought, had some question marks. So moving forward, we'll see with the Cowboys. And
like I kept saying, Trayvon Diggs is really overrated, to say the least. Like, he got burned by our wide receiver 3 and Tim Patrick. He's not even our wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2. Burned him for like a 45-yard, 50-yard touchdown out of nowhere. Like, he looks good getting those interceptions, but he gives up way too many plays, and their defense is just couldn't stop nothing yesterday, and their offense didn't look good either. Like Dak Prescott did nothing the whole game. Their only 2 touchdowns they scored was like 4 minutes
garbage time. Yeah,
complete garbage time. Yep. Broncos started to lay off, give them the whole field, let them go down the field just to kill the clock. 4 minutes, 30 seconds left. It's 30-0.
What is he doing on the field anyway? A guy that's injury prone like that.
Yeah, 30-0 at 4 minutes, 30 seconds left. I don't know.
To get some pastry on the cake.
What good is it that you lose 30-0 or 30-16?
That was addressed on by Rex Ryan today. He was going off about McCarthy, saying that if Prescott would have got injured there, that might have cost him his job. And I agree with it too, because there's no reason he should have been out there.
Absolutely no reason.
It's going to be interesting to see, but again, we talk about the upsets, and let me break it down for you. The Raiders, the division-leading Raiders, the Bengals, the Cowboys, the Bills, the Rams, the Saints. Good night. And beaten. I mean, how do the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are a 15-point underdog, beat the Buffalo Bills 9-6? Now this question marks about Allen.
Oh, absolutely. We've discussed
now there's question marks of defense. I mean, things fluctuate like crazy.
Well, I mean, any team on any given Sunday, but the fact that really concerns me about the Bills here is the fact that you only scored 6 points in that game. That's mind-boggling. I mean, any team can get beat at any point, but 6 points in an NFL game, I mean, with a high-powered offense that's supposed to be going to the Super Bowl, that's a bad look.
Sure, and we have to. We're going to do our power rankings today. Oh. And I think they're going to look a lot different. They're
going to be shuffling around, I'll tell you that much.
That's for sure.
Not much for me.
But let's talk about, not much for you? Why, you had your Rams win the Super Bowl, right?
I'm still fine with the Rams. I think it's just...
I wouldn't be fine with it.
Yes, I watched all of it. I have Robert Woods in a lot of my leagues. I have Stafford in a lot of my leagues. I have Darrell Henderson.
Okay.
It's fine. I just think it's 1 or 2 games. Like, nobody was going crazy when Brady threw 2 interceptions or 3 turnovers. I know. But what I'm saying is that...
Every time I try to make an argument, you go back to Brady.
No, I'm just saying that it's just people love to overreact.
You know what Tom Brady is?
I don't think it's overreact.
Tom Brady's number 1 in touchdowns, number 1 in yards, number 1s in first downs, and number 1s for PFP.
Yes, that's fine. And
that's where he's at.
Yeah, and I wasn't saying he's bad. I'm just saying as soon as one player has a bad game, it's their season's over. I don't think it's over.
What I'm saying is
Stafford did show some bad signs.
Everybody has a bad week. Everybody has a bad week.
He showed some bad signs that I didn't like last night.
No, I like Stafford. I bet a lot me.
Yeah,
me and you bet a lot of money on the Rams.
No, we lost. Yeah.
I mean, I like the Rams. I think they're one of the best 5 teams in there. But I think Mike Vrabel is onto something.
Coach of the year.
Just like the defenses are onto Mahomes. I think that linebacker blitz package, right? First of all, what's the book on Tom Brady? Blow him up the middle, right?
You got to get pressure, yeah, absolutely.
You got to get pressure with
especially up the middle, yeah.
That was the Giants' recipe, right?
Oh, absolutely.
What is the recipe been for Mahomes? 2 deep safety.
Yeah, force him to work his way down the field.
Kick that dog around the field.
Correct.
It seemed to me that Mike Vrabel blitzed him from beginning to end.
Yep.
And probably one of Stafford's worst performances of his career.
Oh, he was horrible. But
in that game. Now, like Rowdy says, hey, listen, it could be an aberration. Matt Stafford's a Hall of Famer. He's a big-time quarterback, and he's probably going to be a Pro Bowler this year.
He's going to be under a lot of pressure to win a playoff game for what they gave up
When we talk about the book, right?
Mm-hmm, yep.
What was the book against Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan when they first came in the league?
Magic Johnson, you were going to force him to shoot an outside jump shot.
Right, and with Michael Jordan, right?
Michael maybe not
No,
as
Michael
much,
Jordan. Michael Jordan wasn't a shooter. He attacked the basket. His jump shot got better.
Yep.
The book on them was that was the defensive game plan.
Yeah, Vrabel, right? Brilliant game plan because
pitches have game plans for hitters, right? The books on hitters, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Some soccer players, the book is to get physical with. Some soccer players is to run them off the ball, whatever it may be. I think I saw something happen to Stafford last night that I think was as much as a coaching problem as it was by performance, because they did not adjust.
No.
How many times did he get sacked?
He had he's got no mobility either. So Vrabel probably knew this going in, and that's why he kept bringing pressure. He could never, as soon as they got pressure, he could never really get out of the pocket.
I haven't seen blitz like that since the Chicago Bears.
Vrabel.
Did they blitz him every passing down, Birdie?
Well, it seemed like somebody was in there, whether they were blitzing or not, every passing down.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the offensive line of the Rams just had a bad day or Stafford.
What was his number? What was his number? Can we look that up?
I don't know off the top of my head, but after the first couple of series, he really had a rough couple of series. It was the end zone where he just flipped the ball to the Tennessee player. Then it was the pick six on the next play, and then he was totally out of that game at that point.
The one where he threw it in the end zone, I'm fine with, because he didn't want to take the safety and he was trying to get rid of it.
He threw it away.
That one it's like not like he can. It shouldn't have happened, but it also should have. I don't know. That one I get, but the other one was also a bad one where it was a pick six. But again, it was just maybe they were overlooking the Titans coming out losing Derrick Henry, gaining Von Miller, thinking that the defense was going to be able to stop everything the Titans were going to have. And obviously they didn't. Their defense, I think, again, they're giving up 28 points to the Titans without Derrick Henry. It's a lot of points for a team that's using Jeremy McNichols and Adrian Peterson coming into the year. All they did was run the ball. So as much as blame needs to go to Stafford in the offense, I think They're not going to win a game scoring 16 points, but their defense needs to stop the Titans once in a while.
Without question.
And there was some very questionable calls, like towards the end of the game when Aaron Donald just pushed,
terrible call.
Literally pushed Tannehill, and he couldn't stop.
Why can't you review that?
I don't know, because the NFL is stupid.
Judgment call.
The NFL is so dumb. You can review certain things. You can't review other things. It doesn't make any sense. Like, everything should be reviewable, or it just doesn't make any sense. Like, he made the wrong call.
That was bad call there.
Any personal fouls, any roughing penalties, those are not reviewable.
But
so
we were saying this, right? Why not go to up-tempo?
Yeah, no.
So they can't sub. Yeah. They'll be tired, right? And take a little steam.
Yep.
Take a little steam out of that Russian attack. I mean, out of that defensive, aggressive attack.
We talked about it. It seemed like the Rams had no urgency in the second half when they were behind. They were still huddling up, and they were just, methodically trying to go down the field, and they were using up a lot of clock. I didn't understand it, but that's on McVay. That's not really on Stafford. He's the one that's got to.
That's exactly what I said. Did you see any type of adjustments to that at all?
Not on the.
Did you see any
from
draw,
the offensive line?
Any draw plays? Any screens?
Or what you got to do is when you know they're bringing max pressure like that, keep your tight ends in, or go to a two tight end offense to be able to give them a clean pocket, which they never did.
No.
So Stafford was 31 for 48, 294, touchdown, and 2 interceptions. And then the quarterback who won the game was 19.
There's worse. I didn't realize his numbers. I thought they'd be worse than that.
Tannehill was 19 for 27 with 143 yards, a touchdown and an interception. And he won the game and it wasn't even a close game pretty much. So that's just like, I don't know. I don't know what to it. I think the Titans should be decent without Henry. Like they showed yesterday, they beat one of the best teams in the league without their best player, and they kept up with them too. So,
and he's not necessarily out for the season.
No, they're saying
he's out to like week 16, 17.
Possibly could be back either first round or mid playoffs if they get that far. So we'll see.
But I'll tell you what. One thing you can say about Tennessee. This is a team that oars are in the water all at the right time.
Vrabel's coach
on both sides of the ball.
From what we've seen so far, I don't see how anybody's even come close to what he's done this year with the schedule they've had too. It's just insane that the level that he's keeping this team playing at.
The Cardinals is another one to look at if it comes towards Coach of the Year.
Kingsbury, absolutely.
Yeah, because they have one loss right now. Yeah. They're number one team in the NFC. Yeah. They keep that up and they finish a top 2 team in the NFC. Like, what was more capable to happen? The Titans to win the division and finish as a top 2, or the Cardinals to win at the top 2? Nobody would have picked the Cardinals to be a top 2.
No, not in that division.
Maybe even no one would have picked them to be a top 4 in a team.
That's a great point. If you go off to all the Vegas money, Tennessee had a little run last year. They keep like guys. They were active in free agency.
Yeah,
they traded for Julio. They go get players. But you're right. If there's a surprise this year. The surprise is in the desert. It's the Desert Fox, my man Kingsbury, man.
Well, yesterday was a big surprise with Colt McCoy at quarterback.
Exactly, and they're still winning. They're still winning.
Defense just.
But Matt Hasselbeck and Rex Ryan and really more says Colt McCoy can get it done as a backup quarterback. There's not too many other guys you'd want backing you up than Colt McCoy.
He did it. He's been around a long time, so he's a veteran. So it's not like they're throwing him in there like Adam. What's his name? Love yesterday for Green Bay's first start. So. Yeah, if you're going to go to a backup, you would want, I guess, you'd want to have a veteran in there.
They beat the 49ers by a good margin with no DeAndre Hopkins and no Kyler Murray. They're 2 best players in the whole team. I mean, they're looking really good right now. The 2 teams they lost to the one team they lost to was the Packers. That's it. And they beat the Rams. Like they're looking really good right now. They just got to keep this up. If they end the season with like 6 losses, then no, he's not in the discussion for me. But if they end the season with like 3.
Who's this?
The coach for the Cardinals. Like
they ain't getting 6 losses. Yeah, they ain't getting 6 losses.
I'm thinking 2-3 losses.
No, but this is like 3, at this point last year, right? The Steelers, I think, were still undefeated or only had 1 loss.
Sure.
And if this happens to the Cardinals, where all of a sudden they completely turn around and let's say Murray doesn't play for another 3-4 weeks, and when he comes back, he's not the same, and they end up as like a 11-6 good playoff team, you know what I mean? Yeah. Then he's not in the discussion for me. But if they stay as 3 losses, 2 losses max, then he's in the discussion. He's going to be
at the front line of that discussion. But you know something I like about the Cardinals? They got playmakers that nobody's heard of everywhere. They fly around.
A lot of talent on that team.
They fly around.
They're underrated.
They're fast. They're underrated. Yep. They pressure the quarterback. Yep. They're balanced.
Yeah, they picked up Zach Ertz from the Eagles.
Yeah,
that was a good trade.
Yeah, they're balanced.
Their other receivers besides Hopkins, Kirk.
Rondell
Moore. They don't miss a beat when the guys go down. They can just plug these guys
plug
right in
play.
there. So yeah, J.J. Watt went down. That was a big hit.
Defense is still looking good.
Is J.J. Watt gone for the year?
Yeah, he's dead. From what I heard,
pectoral surgery he had.
That's a shame.
So he's done for his career. Then you would think now, right?
Knowing him, he'll probably try to make a comeback. But that's a tough injury as you get older. The pounding that your body's taking. He's been around for a long time. So
how many years?
I want to say
2011 he got drafted.
Oh, was it 11?
Yeah, same draft as Von Miller.
I was say about 12 years, so that's 10 years. Yeah.
10 years. We talked about the Rams. We talked about the Cardinals. Let's talk about the Chiefs. Because if ever there was a win that you really couldn't take much from, like if there's ever a win that you want to give back.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
the Giant game and Sunday.
I mean, let's face it. If Aaron Rodgers plays in that football game,
absolutely. No doubt, no doubt.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, was there anything offensively you liked about the Kansas City Chiefs at all?
When you're scoring 13 points at home and you've been struggling all year and you got Mahomes, but what is going on there?
Their offensive line is awful, and now they're banged up. Right now they're banged up. I mean.
But you have your main playmaker still there.
How many times did they need a yard? Did they need a yard or two and they couldn't get it?
Well,
now let me ask you a question. We talked about the book, right?
Yep.
The book on Brady is pressure up the middle with 4, getting to his sight lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
The book on, Stafford may be after this thing to bring more pressure to him.
Pressure.
Okay.
Yep.
After all of that, right? A lot of people on Facebook today are saying Mahomes isn't built for the check down game. Rather, you buying any of that bullshit or what?
I don't know. He's been around in the league for like what? This is his 4th season starting.
4 or 5 years.
I feel like after 2 years, like last year, they would have found out, okay, let's play 2 safeties. They have Tyreek Hill. And I feel like teams have been doing that to him. I just think this has just not been their season so far. They've taken a few bad losses. They haven't looked great. CEH got hurt. He hasn't. That pick was supposed to be a bona fide running back that wasn't supposed to miss like Najee Harris, but it did miss. Like a lot of the stuff is not going in their favor. Like their defense all of a sudden came like one of the worst defenses in the league. Like Alabama probably has a better defense than them right now. Like it's just a lot of things are not going in their favor. Scoring 13 against the Packers is not a good look at all. I don't know what to make of it. I think he'll be fine. I just think it's just maybe everything of this year is just not working out a lot.
But let's look at the logic, right, behind the bend don't break, right? And if you're playing the Chiefs, where do they get their gas from? They get their gas by Kelsey catching a seam, right?
Yep.
They get their gas by Tyreek Hill beating everybody downfield. Their quick score, right? The big bomb, the electric arm, space for Mahomes to run the ball when the middle guys are downfield chasing him around when everybody's coming, right? Yep. Now, with this diversity, they need 7 or 8 completions between 9 and 13 yards. Okay?
Yeah, that's what the defense is doing, yeah.
They're going to have to convert on 2 or 3 third downs, right? Yep. And once they get that close, they can't kick field goals. They're going to score touchdowns. So that bend don't break is the perfect recipe. And you know what I think it also does too, Rowdy? And it goes against Mahomes' mojo and his temperament.
Absolutely.
Because he's a gunslinger.
Yeah, because he's been playing for that at full speed for what, 3-4 years. 100. It's like you're driving 100 miles an hour. Now that you're being told, no, you got to bring it down to 60 miles an hour. And you're not used to it. Yeah. So if you would have known this going into the season and put an offense in that was checked down, that you knew these defenses were going to be showing like this, well, Andy Reid's got to make some adjustments. He's got to start doing something else, saying, "Hey, these 2 safeties are deep. We got to do something different with our offense here to change the defenses around because you're seeing. It seems like they're seeing the same defenses every week.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
and it makes sense to me. You know, I mean, I'm no defense coordinator, but I like it. Okay,
but the book is the book, like you said.
Because the more passes complete, the more chance for fumbles. The more chances for false starts.
A deflected ball.
The more chances for turnovers and deflected balls and drop passes. And then when you get all the way down here, you don't get the end zone. You kick a field goal and it feels like you lost something.
Yeah, in this NFL it does.
And then the crowd's not going wild because Tyreek Hill ain't getting 85-yard touchdown passes. And it seems like the juice,
the electricity that they played with,
has left the Chiefs. I agree.
Yep.
I love to see it. I thought it was going to be a couple more years, but I just until this was going to happen. But I think Andy Reid's one of the best coaches in the NFL, one of the best coaches in recent times in the NFL. I think if anybody is going to adjust to it, it probably could be them. Their bye week hasn't hit yet. So if they give them and the bye week, be like, hey, we're going to retry something different next week.
They need a bona fide slot receiver is what they need. They need an Edelman. They need a Wes Welker. They need somebody like that who's gonna use that open space, right? Use that open space that's created by the two deep, okay, and catch the ball and get 6, 7, 8 yards with yaks after the catch, for sure. Next up, how about them Broncos?
There we go, Riley.
They blew the Cowboys out. Nobody saw it coming. Can somebody explain? They get rid of their franchise player. Everybody's taking the money out. The Broncos quit. They gave up. They did this. They did that. Blah, 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 blah. And now, this is what happens.
Well, when you get beat is bad enough, but when you get physically dominated and manhandled on both sides of the ball the way the Cowboys did yesterday, I mean, we haven't seen it all year, right? That's the first time we've seen the Cowboys not show up or whatever you want to call it. But
to me, I think people, again, I hated the move, losing Von Miller. Absolutely hated it. He's my favorite player ever. I can understand where they're coming from. I get it. I see this side. I'm not one of these fans like, oh, you never do it. There comes a time, and I always say it, like, my team always comes first over any player. Like, that's why I told you guys, if you get me a Rams jersey, I'm not going to wear it. Like, I'll appreciate it, but, like, hey, I'm not going to wear it. Because to me, the teams come first. If Von Miller is hurt, which he didn't play again Sunday, he was doing really well in the beginning of the season. He was AFC Defensive Player of the Month. But if he's hurt, you're paying all this kind of money. You might make the playoffs. You might not. It's not a guarantee. You might not make the playoffs. I can understand where they're coming from. Get rid of him. Get something for him now instead of losing him in the free agency. Because we only signed him for one more deal.
Somebody lit a fire under their ass.
Yeah, I mean,
because they were flying around. They were beating up the Cowboys.
Did they have a couple of players came back off the injury list that they got back?
They actually had players go onto the injury list going into that game. That's why I thought it was going to be not even close, because one of our defensive cornerbacks, one of our best ones, was out. One of our offensive linemen, I think 2 of our offensive linemen were out, and another player on defense was out. So I had no hopes at all going into that game because of those injuries. And then they just completely blew them out of the water. Wasn't even close, like on everything. And this is the win the team needed, because if they can beat this team like this, I'm not afraid. It sounds crazy, but I'm not afraid of the Chiefs as much as I was before, because the Cowboys, I feel like, are a better team.
Yeah.
But I totally agree.
More injuries happen, and that's what really scares me, because another offensive lineman got hurt, might miss a few weeks.
Was Bridgewater the QB?
Yeah, he was. He had a pretty good game. He had a pretty good game.
Judy came back from
had a good
second
game.
week. Did Surtain play?
Exactly. Surtain did play, but he just got hurt, and he has no timetable to return yet.
Okay, so that's not.
He has something in his knee, which sucks, because that's already 2 corners down when that was like our strongest position. But it's looking pretty good. Every team in the AFC West has 5 wins.
You're back in the thick of it.
Literally every team has 5 wins.
Good to be orange. Good to be the orange crush.
I would say so. Yeah, why not?
All right. The Browns bounce back. Who had him written off for dead? I did.
We all took Cincinnati, right?
Yeah. I did.
It's hard to figure out this Cleveland team.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what it is, Birdie. Right?
Yeah.
And I might be right or wrong, but I think I'm right. I think it's the old adage.
Addition by subtraction.
There you go. Look at that in my notes. Look at the second line in my notes.
I think we're thinking this. We're on the same mindset. So the subtraction of OBJ would, as a distraction to the team. Now especially for Baker Mayfield, now you don't have to worry about a guy coming into the huddle and yelling at you every play that he's open, or having to throw the ball to him. And on and on and on. So they found something yesterday, Riley.
I don't know, because OBJ, OBJ hasn't been playing much recently. Like, he hasn't played the last week or hasn't played a couple weeks before that, and he was injured at the beginning of the season. So I get what you guys mean, but I don't know how much you can hold that to.
The distractions of, like, the tweets from OBJ's father, before the game, the stupidity, the stupid distractions that he has to bring into the game.
Can I say something about OBJ when I really question his character? He's from New Orleans, right?
LSU, yeah.
That's from New Orleans.
Yep.
He went to the same high school the Mannings did, right?
Really? I didn't know that. No.
Are you listening to me? Or are you playing with
I'm listening to you.
Okay. He's from New Orleans. He went to, I believe, the same. Can you look up the high school that OBJ went to? I believe it was the same one that the Manning brothers went to. He went to the Manning's football camp for free because he was a prodigal athlete in New Orleans. Okay? Here's a guy that could have been, they wanted him to go to Olympic sprint trials. He could have been a major league. You ever see this kid swing a baseball bat, Birdie? Unbelievable. He is right where he's supposed to be. Okay? And he comes from New Orleans. I believe they're from the same high school. And in New York, he starts talking shit about Eli Manning.
Really?
And then after that, I was like, making this innuendo, I was like, whoa, this dude's got to be fucked up. It's like the ego. But let's talk about his fall from grace.
They did go to the same high school. Isidore Newman School?
It's a Catholic
I think
school.
so, yeah. They went to the same high school.
They both went to the same high school, sure. So, can you imagine, I'm in the NBA, and there's another Jeffrey Hilltopper out there, right? That's a captain of the team, an NBA champion, and I'm this young star. The last thing in the world I'm going to do is talk shit about him, right?
Yeah.
Is that an indictment against my character?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, when I see the boat starting to rock in New York, and Eli, when he's asked a question about what OBJ said, he starts rolling his eyes. It's like, come on, man. We're kin. We're from the same place. We're from the same Emerald City, man. Like, what's going on? Like, how you gonna do me like that? And let's face it, he's been a pain in the ass wherever he goes.
He's been a malcontent every stop so far. So, yeah.
But how talented?
Well, his performance level has gone down.
Yes, I agree.
Why? How old is he now? I mean, this guy was making.
He's only been in the league for what, 6, 7 years.
I couldn't believe.
Yeah, he was productive when he first got into the league with the Giants. I mean, and his production level has gone down.
Very productive.
He won Offensive Rookie of the Year. The year that he was rookie.
I mean, so now he's
How
on
many times has he been All-Pro?
I don't.
Maybe once or
All
twice.
Pro, I don't think ever, but Pro, I'll look that up. Pro Bowl as well.
So now, if you're a general manager and you know this guy's history and you're in the middle of a playoff push, are you gonna, how are you gonna weigh the bringing him into the locker room?
If he addresses a need,
second team All Pro twice.
He is how many times Pro Bowl?
I'll look that up.
Now, a team like the Patriots that are looking for receivers, right?
I would jump all over it.
I wouldn't because of his attitude. Maybe the Patriots make sense because of Bill. If anybody could keep somebody in check, would be Bill.
The conversation has to go this way. Say, listen, we're trending up. We're going to make the playoffs. You want to be signing something special here. You want to be wanted to come here. But OBJ, listen to me. Listen, if shit starts going sideways, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. You're going to be gone.
Well, they'll dump him right away.
We're not going to have. We're not going to have meetings about this. We're not going to have discussions about this. If we get...
They got rid of Randy Moss midseason.
Yeah. If we see a few bad things, we're going to let you go.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure they'll address that right from the get-go.
Are the Patriots in the mix with him?
Well, I don't know if they are, but I would think that because receiver might be one of their bigger needs moving forward, that they've brought guys in before, that they...
Sure.
To address a need, Bill Belichick, he sees the talent. It's just a matter of how the locker room's going to adjust to it. So
I think the Saints would be a good one as well because Michael Thomas is done for the year. They really need a receiver. Yep, exactly. Back. I think the Packers are a really good one as well because they would need another receiver on the side of Devontae Adams because they haven't been doing much. MVS, Allen Lazard.
Is Aaron Rodgers looking at suspension?
No, I don't think so.
I wouldn't believe so, but.
No, they're killing him, dude.
Well, the media is. But, I mean, as far as Goodell, I wouldn't think so. I mean, he's lost one.
I thought we agreed that he gets suspended next year.
I said it was possible maybe next year if they were going to do it. I don't think they're going to do it this year to have him sit out another game.
They couldn't have an investigation thorough enough to suspend him, could they?
No, it just says fines and suspensions not expected. It's just he's going to get fines.
He's already lost one sponsor, one of the health insurers that from Wisconsin that were affiliated with him has dropped him. I guess State Farm came on today and said that they're going to keep him on. So,
really?
Yeah, they said that health is a personal issue, and we're not going to,
I agree.
Get involved with this.
Yeah, but do you agree on how we handle it, Riley?
No.
To a certain extent, yes, because if he says, I'm not going to get vaccinated, there's going to be so many people down his throat saying, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? So for him to walk the line of saying, I'm immunized, or however he said it, it's just, I get why he did it. Because if you say I'm not getting vaccinated, everyone's going to be like, you should. You're doing the wrong thing. You're doing the right thing. When I believe health is your choice. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. Like,
yeah, but if you're in a locker room with 56 guys, is it still your choice?
Yeah, it's your choice. I think whenever it's your body, you shouldn't be told what to put in your body and what not to be put in your body. In my opinion, even if it's for a job, I just think.
Well, thank God they didn't think that way during the polo academic or the measles or some of the other civilization crippling epidemics were the only thing that cured people with vaccines. But I mean, I think we've seen enough with the coronavirus today to realize how serious it is. I just think that. I like, once again, I think that, he's got this issue with his parents, and he's got this issue with his brother, and he's got these issues that I talked about. Now we got this. I mean, I think they said it the best way. At worst, it was disingenuous.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? At its best, it was misleading.
He could have took a simple route in saying that
I
have no comment on it, and it's a personal choice that everybody has to make, rather than say that I don't know whether he said, come out and said he was vaccinated, but he was
he said he's immunized
through holistic medicine. So I don't know how you want to perceive that. So.
And then he goes on Joe Rogan. You saw that, right?
No, I didn't see that interview or whatever he said to him.
Does Rodgers stay in Green Bay?
I really don't know.
I say yes. What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think what he posted with Devontae Adams coming to the year, like the Last Dance thing, going with the Scottie Pippen and MJ. I think he's done there. I don't think he likes the GMs at all. I don't know if he's good with Matt LaFleur. They don't seem great after what happened in the NFC Championship game last season. If he doesn't kick the field goal and lets Rodgers throw it, I think he might stay. But with that and then the GMs, I think there's too much going on. I don't think he stays.
For me and my personality, I would look at that coach to the day I die saying, you fucking took the ball out of my hands. In the NFC Championship game.
Well, he's got half a season left to try to fix that, so we'll see.
You think that Jordan Love? I mean, we didn't see much from him, right?
Yeah, it
didn't look bad late.
No, first start. So he just seemed like.
How long is Rodgers out for?
I think he's supposed to be back this week. Is from what I'm
10
hearing.
days. If you're not vaccinated, you miss 10 days guaranteed because you have to quarantine. So he got that on Monday. So he should be good by midweek.
This week.
Yeah, midweek he would come back to practice. Guy like that, he's been in the same system forever. He knows the offense like the back of his hand.
Yeah.
Like I know English, so he'll be playing this week.
Next,
if he tests negative.
The Browns back from the dead. So they're alive again. And last about the burning topics is how about them Patriots as they continue to roll undefeated on the road. Playoff path is starting to look up. A division championship, a division title is now a lot more a reasonable goal than it was 24 hours ago, Birdie.
Yeah, well.
What do you mean by yeah?
Their schedule is, I got to look at their upcoming schedule. I know they got Atlanta and they got Cleveland this week. I'll give them their props for going into LA and beating the Chargers, but if you look at the other wins, 2 against the Jets, Houston, and against a real bad offensive quarterback this week, and You got to play the schedule in front of you, but I'm still got to hold out a little bit longer.
So I got the Browns next week, and the Browns are coming off a big win, so that should be a good game. Anyone can win that one, obviously. And then you got the Falcons after that. That should be a good game because the Falcons are doing pretty good. Then you got the Titans, which we just talked about. The Titans are doing really good.
You know what? The 2 games with Buffalo might come down to determine whether or not they're going to have to win one of those.
They got a tough
Buffalo
schedule.
games.
It's the Bills, the Colts, then the Bills again, and then they got the Jaguars, which should be a free week off, and then it's the Dolphins to end the season.
Is that game at Jacksonville or up here?
In New England.
Yeah, well, if it's up
so
here.
They got 2 games where they need to win in the Jaguars and the Dolphins, and the rest of them are all going to be really hard, really tough games for the rest of the season.
But you don't like what you see from them?
No, I do like what I'm seeing.
And if we want to talk about their wins against bad opponents, how about their losses against
teams with
good records?
Be fair.
You can't have one without the other, right?
No, but the only thing is, that I'll comment on that is if you look at the AFC playoff picture right now, there's like 6 teams that are 5-4, so it's going to be you have to win every week because everything's so jumbled up.
How many of them are better coached?
Well,
none.
How many of them are more balanced?
Well, there might
There's
be
a lot,
be 1 or 2. I mean, if you go down the list.
I don't think the Patriots' offense is that good. I don't think the receivers come playoff time or
I don't either.
Win times. I don't think it's that great. Same thing with the running.
What's the word they call it? Complementary football?
Complementary football, and you have to get better as the season goes on, which it seems like they're doing right now. So
you guys are both thumbs down on Pats making the playoffs?
I wouldn't say thumbs down. I would just say
I'd have to look at the schedule, and
because I've been saying it for 3 weeks that they're going to make the playoffs.
Okay,
and then
I just got to see them beat one more. If they beat Cleveland this week, then I'll say okay, because Cleveland can what we just saw Cleveland do to Cincinnati.
But there's a lot of teams like Cleveland, like the Chiefs, like the Broncos, like the Bengals, like the Chargers.
I'll tell you
all those teams right there are going to need to, or the Raiders, all those teams are going to need to make the wild card. And to me, I don't know if the Patriots are one of the better teams in that discussion. Same with the Steelers as well, or the Ravens. Like one of the Ravens, Steelers, or Bengals are going to win the division, and the other 2 are going to be pushing for the playoffs. Do you think the Bengals and the Steelers have a more balanced team than the Patriots do?
No, I think the Patriots are better than the Bengals.
I think their offense is the Bengals' offense is here, and then the Patriots' offense is like way down here. I think the Bengals' defense is very underrated.
In a playoff game, you're going to put your money on the Bengals versus the New England Patriots. Birdie, are you gonna?
Where's the game being played?
Neutral site.
I'd have to see more before the season ends because, like, Cincinnati's been a roller coaster so far this year, also.
But that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of teams in the AFC that are going to need to do this.
There's just a lot of games left that you gotta. It's like taking a test. You're only halfway done. You gotta.
What happened to the trend we've heard about forever? Is that just a convenience? I mean, what are we talking about?
Trends.
The Patriots are trending hotter than almost any other team in the National Football League right now.
Mike, 2 weeks ago, the Cincinnati Bengals were the hottest team in the league.
That was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks can change real quick. That's why I'm saying,
all right,
give it a couple more weeks. I'm not saying I'm more less neutral right now. Where I was at the beginning of the year, I was like, absolutely not. They're not making the playoffs. Now, from what I've seen from their body of work, it's like, yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. Get another win or 2, and I'll be like, yeah, there's no question they're going to be in there. So we'll see in a couple of weeks.
Especially with the wins.
Division. I do as well. From what I've seen from the Buffalo Bills, I do as well.
I still don't see it. Buffalo. I know they had a bad game yesterday, but I just don't see it.
Buffalo's got 3 losses now. I mean, why are we crowded? Why are we 3?
Well, they might be 5-3. He might be right.
Are they? I don't.
Yeah, it might be 5-3. They lost to Tennessee, they lost to Jacksonville, and they lost to Pittsburgh at the beginning of the year. Yeah, okay.
So I mean, why are we crowning the Bills? Like, why are we anointing the Bills?
Because of last year, or what we saw in the playoffs, and
3 years.
3 years in a row, the Bills have been close, knocking at the door. Okay. So,
but the 3 year, yeah.
They have.
It doesn't.
Because the Patriots are a work in progress, Mike. A new quarterback, rookie quarterback, players coming off of COVID, free agents, new free agents with the team. You know what I'm saying?
It seems like we had an entirely different argument about this when the season was starting.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Because I was one way. I was saying that the Pats aren't going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and so was I. Yeah, no. That's why I said I'm not.
Now I'm watching them. and they play good contrary football, and they have great special teams, and they play with, and McDaniels is doing a great job with a rookie quarterback.
Yep.
Okay? And they're moving the football, okay? And their defense is making plays, and they're believing, okay? And they spent money in the right places.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
But they still have needs at receiver.
And I think there's a natural letdown for teams that are playing them because everybody associates Tom Brady in the World Super Bowl. So like, come on, this is Mac Jones and the Patriots coming in. So everybody's got their guard down a little bit, and I think they're on the come. Yeah, I haven't lost a road game yet in the National Football League.
That's not easy to do.
They're 4-0 on the road.
Yeah.
Okay? They're a fumble in the red zone away from beating Miami. They're a crossbar away from beating Tampa Bay, and they're a freak play away from the Cowboys. Oh. But if ifs and buts with candy nuts and every day be Christmas, I'm just saying. The last 3 weeks, I've been talking to you about the Patriots, and I've been talking to you about the Steelers, and I fully expect the Steelers to get it done tonight as well. As you do, correct?
Well, they're better at home because you can't afford one loss, especially not to a team like the Bears at home. So,
what does the AFC Central look like now?
What, the Steelers division?
Yeah.
Right now, Baltimore's in control of it based on Cincinnati's 2 losses.
What is Baltimore? What is Baltimore's record now?
They only have two losses. I
think they're 6-2, but even they're shaky yesterday too. They had to come from way behind. They were struggled in the first half of that game.
They sure did.
So, I mean, it's wide open. It seems like every division in the league right now is wide open, except for, the Dallas division. Some divisions we thought were locked up. Some teams have come back down to earth. So
the Ravens are 6-2. The Steelers are 4-3. The Browns are 5-4, and the Bengals are 5-4 as well. So that division, let's say the Steelers win today, they'll be 5-3. There'll be 3 teams that are 5-3 come out of teams. There's 4 teams that are 5-3 in the AFC West. And then the Patriots are 5-3, and then also the Colts are 4-5. So let's just get rid of the Colts. There's 1, 2.
Let's keep the Colts there.
Okay, I wouldn't get rid of the Colts.
3, 4. No. There's 4.
I'm buying the Colts. So.
There's 4 teams at 5-4 out of the AFC West. There's 3 teams that are 5-4 or 5-3 in the AFC North, and then there's the Patriots that are 5-4 and the Bills that are 5-3. So that leaves that one. Let's say the Bills win the division. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 possible teams could finish as the same record at like 10 or 9-8 or 10-7. For me, I don't know if the Patriots offense is as good as some of the other, like the Chiefs. Like, I don't think that's a question. I think the Chiefs have a better offense this year, but their defense, again, their defense is nowhere near the Patriots' defense. I don't know where to put those guys in the rankings for me, because I feel like those are for me right now. I have those on the same level.
How do you define complementary football, Riley?
A team that can. Again, I know the Bengals are trending down, but to me, the Bengals, they have a very underrated defense. They have an explosive offense. On any week, they could score 40 amount of points on a Baltimore Ravens defense. I know they just look bad. This seems dumb, but their defense is underrated. Again, I think the Bills as well. They just lost again.
Field position, isn't that a key thing?
Yeah, special teams, field position, like you said earlier, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think the Patriots do a good job of that.
They have been, yeah.
Working on short fields, having it. Did you see how aggressive their defense was?
Yeah, no, their defense has gotten better. They picked up Jamie Collins. He's fit in with them, and they've gotten better as the season's gone on. No, I cannot argue any of that, Mike.
But I do like what Birdie said before. The Chargers win was good, and I think a lot of people were overrating the Chargers coming into the season, but a lot of the wins have been the Jets, the Texans, and then was the Panthers. When the Panthers, I was so high on coming into the year because Sam Darnold was looking great, and then now Sam Darnold's turning into the Jets Sam Darnold, and he's doing absolutely horrendous again. But the defense does look really good. I want this run of games is going to be a very, very good test for them because these are all going to be.
Where's the Cleveland game at?
The Cleveland game,
that's here.
It's here. So they have like a run of like 5 or 6 games where like 3 to 5 games where they're all pretty much playoff teams or playoff contending teams. So those are going to be a real test coming up now, I think. A lot of those.
What are the tiebreakers? Because it seems like this together is going to be some tiebreakers, I would think.
First of all, if you're in the division, it comes down to head-to-head in your division. Then if you're in for a wild card tiebreaker, it's going to come down to conference record, teams within your conference that you beat. So You have to win the conference games. If you lose games out of conference, those are the games you want to lose. Like
so that sets up for the Patriots then.
Yeah, because the Dallas loss isn't going to hurt them because that's in the NFC.
The Tampa Bay loss is not going to hurt them.
The Tampa Bay ain't going to either. So they're in a good position as far as
the Dolphins one hurts them a lot though.
The Dolphins are a lot, but
both ways.
Using your logic from the NFC Central, when you got one team at 6-2 and everybody else at 5-3, those teams are going to beat each other up all year.
Yeah, well, that's usually the way it plays out. A lot of these divisions.
Those teams are going to beat up each other all year.
Well, one of those teams is like I don't think the Browns will make the playoffs. They just had a really good win, but for some reason I just think Baker's not the healthiest. If he was a lot more healthy, I would have faith in them. But for them, I think the Patriots could finish ahead of the Browns. I wouldn't be surprised. The other two in the Steelers, and I think the Patriots have a better team than the Steelers do. For me, because I'm not a fan of the Steelers' offense that much. That one's honestly the same level. The Bengals, I think the Bengals have a better team. And then the Chiefs, then you're looking at the Chiefs and the Raiders. I don't know where to rank those two. The whole AFC West is a mess. Like, any one of those teams can win.
What do the Bengals has when you look at the Ravens culture and the Steelers culture and the Patriots culture?
No, they don't. They don't because they haven't been in the playoffs in so long. So, I mean, they're trying probably.
I mean, coming down the stretch, you're looking at Harbaugh, Tomlin, Belichick. Those are Super Bowl winning coaches.
No, absolutely.
Multiple besides Harbaugh.
You know what I mean? So.
Well, that's why these guys like the coach in San Diego, the coach in Cincinnati, even the coach in Cleveland, Stefanski, these guys are all trying to make a name for themselves.
I think the AFC is going to be great for because nobody, like any of these teams, like the Bengals were just number one ranked team in the AFC 2 weeks ago. Now they're in the wild card. Like the Ravens were number one, and then it changed to this team now, and then the Raiders were number one, then it was this team. So I think any order could be how the AFC finishes. The Patriots could finish number one. They could finish outside the whole playoffs. Like anything is possible. It's wide open right now, so it's going to be great to watch.
Eileen Souza says it best. Bill's close, but no cigars. Oof. You got that right, Eileen. You got that right.
The last couple of years, they've been doing just steady climbing each step, and I think the next step is ready to happen, but it's going to be tough.
That AFC is a traffic jam right now, and you're going to have to see some separation in the next couple of weeks of teams that are going to be contenders.
I think it's going to be very difficult to get separation in the AFC West and the AFC Central. I think it's going to be very difficult to get separation there because I think those teams are clogged up out west. I think they're clogged up there. I think they're going to beat each other up.
And that's where the tiebreakers will come into play at the end of the year.
Will come into play, which is an unfair advantage for the Patriots because the Dolphins and the Jets are so bad.
Well, they lost their Dolphins.
Well,
they lost their Dolphins. So
but I'm saying.
But they got to play four games, yeah.
The Bengals.
Yeah.
All the Browns.
Historically, the Dolphins have been doing really good against the Patriots, though, over the last few years, too. But the Bengals and the Browns, yes. That Dolphins loss could hurt a lot more than people realize the first game of the season because of, like, the Dolphins are 2-7. They're probably not going to make the playoffs. That's nothing crazy to say. But it's an in-division loss. It could bring them down if the Dolphins could sneak up, and it's in the conference as well. That loss is...
The Dolphins could sneak up.
Like they could win. Like I'm saying, like the Dolphins won that game. So by winning that game, it was in the conference as well. So
then we got to play them in Miami.
Exactly. That was in New England. And if losing by that game, that's a game they should win. Like because of how bad the Dolphins are right now.
If we can split with Buffalo and sweep the Jets.
Well, they already did sweep the Jets.
The problem the Patriots have is Buffalo hasn't played the Jets yet. I don't believe so. And they beat Miami once, so they haven't lost a game in the division yet. So that's an advantage to them as far as the division goes.
I'm not talking about I'm not talking about winning the division necessarily. I'm talking about what is the tiebreaker going to do to who makes the wild card. Because I think, like Rowdy said, there may be some teams that, I mean, there may be 5 teams that are 10-7.
They got 8 games left, right? 7 out of their 8 are all AFC teams. There's one game outside the AFC, which is the Falcons. So they got Browns, Titans, Bills, Colts, Bills, Jaguars, Dolphins. So they play 2 teams that are not going to be in the playoffs, and the Jaguars and the Dolphins. The rest of them all could be in the hunt. So all of those games are all literally must-win games.
So for the wild card, if I'm not mistaken, if it came down to 2 teams for one wild card spot, it would come down to head-to-head before conference if they played each other. Yeah. But the way it is right now, I don't think it's going to be. It's going to be more. It looks like it could be more than 2 teams that are going to be tied at the end of the year.
Yeah, because look, the Browns and the Patriots.
Conference record.
Browns and Patriots are both 5-4, both in the hunt for the wild card. Very good. Whatever team loses that is 5-5. that hurts them huge because the other team is going to be 6-4, and by the end of the year, if they're both 10-7,
that's another conference
then that's
game,
another. Then the other team, whoever won that game, is massive. Same thing with Titans and Patriots. If the Titans lose a couple games by then, and the Patriots lose that one, if it comes down to the wild card, and the Titans and the Patriots are the same, whoever won that one goes ahead. Same thing with the Bills. Same thing. Like they got the Bills twice. Those are huge games. They need to take one from the Bills.
Like I think we start to see teams separating after the Mason-Dixon mark, which was week 9.
Usually it starts like they say. What was the old saying that if you're serious about playoff football, it starts around Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving? So this year it's going to be starting a little bit earlier. The way these teams are all jumbled up.
That's right. I am the Hurricane 4. Oh, who won the bets?
Birdie ran away with it. It wasn't even close. Birdman just destroyed us. So
you want a trivia question?
Yeah,
yes.
We do.
Well, I got like 3 or 4, but we'll
all
get.
Right, now, fire them at me.
All right, fire them at you.
Bobby Soderstrom, come here. One of the founding fathers.
What do you want? Who's going first?
Go first.
I got NHL, NBA, I got Major League Baseball, and I got 2 NFL.
Nice, so fire him.
Let's go NHL first.
NHL. How about if we hit the buzzer if we know it? How about that?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
These are tough for him because some of these are older.
NHL.
From 1976 to 1983, 8 years, only 2 teams won the Stanley Cup. One went on a 4-year run, and the other one went on a 4-year run. Name the 2 teams.
Edmonton and Islanders.
Incorrect.
The Penguins.
You got one of them, the Islanders. Penguins is incorrect. You got one more crack at it.
Give me that question again.
Between 1976 and 1983.
Oh, the Red Wings.
That's incorrect.
Wow.
76
and Canadians. They won 4 in a row, and the Islanders won 4 in a row. All right, next question. NBA history.
Oh, boy.
In 1976, this was considered by some people the greatest game in NBA history.
Phoenix Suns, Boston Celtics.
That's correct.
Yeah.
It was between the Phoenix Suns and Boston Celtics. Yeah. During this game, a player hit a legendary shot, which was
Phil Herren.
Bingo. Okay. Riley, next.
Get out there. Get out of here. That shit.
Okay, let's see how good you are. Let's get a little hotter as we go along. Baseball, Atlanta Braves were considered, I watched a documentary the other night about the Braves in the 90s. They considered the best 4-man starting rotation in baseball history. Name the 4 starting pitchers. Riley, we'll go first. No?
I got you.
Okay.
Glavine.
That's 1.
Smoltz.
That's 2.
Maddox.
That's 3.
Hold on. Glavine.
The name of the show is going to turn to Stump the Hurricane.
Hold on.
You got time. We're not going to...
Glavine,
Smoltz.
started in the bullpen.
Huh?
Smoltz started in the bullpen, then they put me.
Well, he became a starter.
Glavine.
Bill Rickamass.
Yeah, Tommy Glavine lefty. Maddox.
John Smoltz.
And the 4th guy, son of a bitch, it's right here.
Left-hander.
Another left-hander, huh?
Yep. This guy was a rookie phenom too when he came into the league. It's a tough question. If you're not
that crazy son of a bitch, John Rocca.
Yeah, he was a relief pitcher though.
All right, give me your initials.
S.A.
Scott.
Incorrect.
Steve Avery.
Steve Avery. I'll give you a hint. You had to use it. Okay, Riley. Now you can get these questions, so I'm giving you first crack at it. But these are hard.
Yeah.
NFL MVPs have been quarterbacks in the NFL for the last 8 years. In 2012 was the last.
Adrian Peterson.
Wow! Oh.
Coming off the ACL injury.
Very impressive. Last question of the day for $1 million. Buffalo.
You can't stop Riley. It can't. It should be.
No, it's new stuff.
On Hurricane.
Well, you didn't know who Avery was, but
well,
all right.
The other 3. And I answered the first 2.
All right, Buffalo Bills, 2017-18. Josh Allen was drafted by the Bills to be their quarterback. In 2017, who was the starting quarterback before Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills?
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor.
You answered first.
Yeah.
Those are too easy. I got to get some harder questions.
Who was the quarterback that was in between them? Tyrod Taylor. They had a younger quarterback.
Nate Peterman.
Yeah, there you go. Nathan Peterman. Yep.
Okay, I didn't answer the question about Bills Mafia.
Yep.
Right? Who was the quarterback that the Bills decided to start in a playoff game after Doug Flutie took over halfway through the season and took him to the playoffs?
What year was that? 88?
What's his last name?
Hang on.
He wore a little
hang on.
Queer bandana.
88. Yes, yeah, the bandana. That's a good hint. I can see him, but I don't know his name. Yeah. It's like you. I know. I can see the face, but I don't know his name.
Last name was Jay?
I can't think
Johnson?
of his name. Yeah.
Rob Johnson?
Was it Rob Johnson?
I believe it was.
Yeah, you might be right.
Who was it?
Maybe I was thinking of somebody else. That's it. I got to get some harder questions next week.
Nah, but they were good. Look, was it Rob Johnson?
I don't know if it was Rob Johnson, but he was around that time frame. It might have been later.
Do you end with that all the time?
The trivia, yeah.
We try to, yeah.
Birdie, I incorporate that. It's good. I get the trivia question of all trivia questions right now. Okay? And if you guys get it, I will run around the Sierra parking lot bare ass.
So then we better not get it then.
All right. Who are the only two people in the Baseball Hall of Fame that never played, managed, owned, broadcasted, or had anything to do with baseball?
Didn't broadcast?
No.
They're in the Hall of Fame?
Baseball Hall of Fame.
I was going to say either Harry Carey or Ernie.
No,
but these are broadcast. I know there's a broadcast.
No, never worked in baseball.
Not owners?
They contributed to, a little bit.
Was one of them a president?
Nope.
Oh, really?
Nope.
I don't know.
Henry Ford? I have no idea.
I'm
trying to think who would.
Abbott and Costello.
Yeah.
Who's on first?
Who's on first?
The Hurricane, the Swami, baby.
I got one.
I stumped him. Got Rouse.
Who was the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns at the beginning of the 2011 NFL season?
Tim Couch.
No. This is very timely.
Who was he replacing?
This is very timely. That's the only hint I'm going to give you.
2011?
Yep. Timely.
Colt McCoy.
Yes, it was. It was Colt McCoy.
Yeah. You want some of this trivia, Birdman?
No, I want to win it for tonight is what I
You
want.
take the Steelers?
I don't know. After last night, I don't think I'm taking anybody.
Birdie, we had a fucking pact that we were going. I told Lisa to empty the account for the Steelers.
Yeah, good luck to you. The way this NFL Sunday's going, I'd be betting the Bears.
What are you talking about? You're like a sociopath.
Look at the way these games played out.
How many times did you tell me all week you love the Steelers?
I do, but I'm just
love
saying.
the Steelers.
Look at
so now you're going to switch up now?
No, I'm not switching up, but I'm saying look at the way these games played out this week, Mike.
I got a good one. Last one.
Go ahead.
Drew Brees broke which of these quarterbacks' records of 48 consecutive games with a touchdown? Which quarterback did he break? So it'd be like Jay Cutler, you know what I mean? But it's not Jay Cutler, obviously. So
John Elway?
Nope. 48 games. He had 47 games straight with a touchdown, I believe. And Drew Brees did 48.
Dan Marino.
No.
Peyton Manning.
No. There's a little tougher one, I think.
So Drew Brees
Kenny Anderson?
No.
had 48 touchdowns.
Yeah. You know who Drew Brees plays for?
Used to is the key word.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, give us a hint.
What kind of hint you want?
What do you play for?
Hold on. I think I know who it is, but I have to look it up.
Dan Fouts.
Nope. He played for the Colts.
And it wasn't Peyton Manning?
Johnny Unitas?
Yeah, Johnny Unitas. Yeah.
Johnny Yo.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Johnny Yo. That Chris Ball question you got me with. I'm glad that stuck in my craw.
I heard it on the radio. I couldn't believe it myself. I'm like, really? The only guy in NBA history? I'm like, that's a tough question. You would have never thought it would have been him, right?
Do I have any more trivia questions left?
I don't.
Who was the MVP of the national championship game between Larry Bird and Michael Jordan? Between Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
Fred Kelser.
There you go, Birdie.
You're going to beat me on
All
that
right,
one.
my Birdie bounce back. No, Birdie, look me in the eye.
Yeah.
Look the camera in the eye.
Yeah.
And tell me you're taking Pittsburgh tonight.
I will be taking, under advisement, the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight.
For sure, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to
I'm not taking the Bears. That's for sure. I'm just saying because of the craziness
we're
that happened all
week. We're all concerned about that, obviously.
Yeah, no.
But you're not going to waver.
No, I'm never going to waver.
You like the Steelers
I like them all week. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
I'm just saying the way the week's gone, though.
I've been telling you, the Pats and the Steelers tonight. Go to St. Anne's Bank, go to Foley Municipal,
doing that.
go to Bay Coast, go to Bank 5, and put the mortgage on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The terrible towel, Big Red, the steel curtain will be too much for an underachieving Bears team.
Play the money line, don't bet the spread.
That can get anything done, and without their leader, Khalil Mack, it's a wrap, baby. Steel City all day. Steelers. The Hurricane said it. You dig it?